Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. I've got to move that button. I hit the wrong button again. So today is Collection Selection Saturday, where we will be selecting a type of watercolor medium that we're going to use this week. This is the picture from last week. I did finish up the background as well as her wings. And I'll turn on the light so you can see, hopefully without blinding you, that I did put some glitter on the wings as well as up here. I'm trying not to blind you with it, around her crystal. So that one is fini. So good morning everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Good morning Ghost. Ashley. Okay, so no problem as long as you're having to adult, I feel for you. Good morning Alex. Good morning Yana. Good morning Bee. Good morning Carol. Hello, hello, hello everyone. So that one is all done. We are finished with this one, so I can actually, put it away. Now, the thing on my desk here, I want to talk to you about because a really, really sweet fellow, his name is Radu Fraze, and he actually put together a book of palettes, color palettes. Hello, Calamity. So I have the link below for the free book. It's free, completely free. So it's full of pages such as this with 4 palettes on each page. I've gone through and printed the entire book and cut the palettes out. So they're individual cards. I will be using these cards for once a week, or once a month I should say, 1 week out of the month. We will be using the color palette from Radu, and yeah, so it'll limit me, which is good because I don't like limits. But it will limit me to a color palette, and we'll see what we can do with it. It's a wonderful, wonderful selection of 45 pages of different color palettes. Absolutely beautiful color palettes. And like I said, I've printed out the entire book. I can't cut straight if my life depended on it, so mine are all wiggly, higgly-piggly all over the place. But if you can cut straight and whatnot, you could probably make a really good set of palette cards to select from. Hello, Catherine. So that is done by Radu Fraze. I say Fraze. I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce his name. He is a part of my Facebook group. He is also a huge supporter of the channel. And like I said, below the video is a link to his free department on his website. Make sure that you go into the other parts of his website too. He draws. He has created a swatch book. He has all different things. He has also created different books on what is it called? Digital arts and that sort of thing. So make sure you take a look around his website and show him the love. We will be picking a card out of this. I think we'll do that this week, and we'll see where it goes. What do you guys think? Bob is actually currently working on a box for these to go in. So the next time you see them, they will have their own little box, and we'll be able to pick that way. And we're going to pick randomly, like I'm just going to, reach in and randomly pull out a card, and that's the card we're going to use. All right, so that is, like I said, that is a free resource for you that the artist has provided for the community. And I think it's absolutely wonderful for him to do that. All right, so that is the announcement of the day. Of course, it is February. I am doing good. I am doing good, Carol. Thank you for asking. So today, this month is February, and February is a celebration of the Fae. And there are several artists that are participating in February, and their links are also below the video for their Etsy sites of different things that they are providing for the February coloring, as well as the Facebook groups that are promoting and putting on the event. So please make sure you check them out, and if you color any of the Faes, make sure that you post them accordingly. Yeah, I think that's it for announcements for today. It's the start of a new week. Yay! So how is everyone? I hope you are all doing wonderfully. If I'm yelling, let me know. I've had to turn down my mic. For some reason, my mic is picking up the static in my earphones. So I had to turn it down so that I can't hear the how loud I'm being. So, yeah. Who's ready for the cauldron? We have our cauldron. Our cauldron. The collection cauldron. I asked Bob to print me a new top for the cauldron with, you know, colored pencils instead of bones. Oh, really? I copied them from Emily, so I'm sorry if the Etsy's aren't working. I will go through and make sure that I correct them after the video, after the live stream. It could be me. I could be yelling. Sorry. Here, I'll turn it up so I can hear myself a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I can hear myself a little bit. As long as it's not reverbing for you guys, that's fine. All right, so who's ready for the cauldron? The cauldron. So now, Ghost, you're gonna probably have to turn it up. Just saying. All right, who's ready? Who's ready for the cauldron? Who wants to see what we're gonna color with this week? Yes, they are all on Emily Illustrator's page. So if you do go over there and take a look at her February videos, you will be able to find all of those links fully intact. I copied them from Emily's thing with permission, of course, and I must have missed part of the link or something. All right, so we've shaken it up pretty good. Take the lid off the cauldron. And as you can see, we've got little pieces of paper in there. Let's see. Now, of course, depending upon what I pull out of here is what will make the choice for the book. All right, so we've got a paper. Who wants to say it's a dun 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 dun. The Fluid watercolor pencils. So because these are a watercolor pencil, we will be using them in a okay, get on there. All right, so we're going to use the Flowwood watercolor pencils, and let's choose a book. Let's see, what do we got down there? Well, let's do something simple. So I know, where did I put them? I just had them last night. Uh-oh. Ah, there they are. All right, so let's do, I already colored in that one. I haven't colored in this one. And we'll take a piece of paper to go behind the page. All right, So the Flowwood watercolor pencils are identical numbers and names to the Flowwood colored pencils. So if you want to do this in colored pencil, you can definitely do so. I think we're going to pick something out of Petra, I can't pronounce her last names, out of Petra's book here. And then we'll pick a color palette. So let's do something Valentine's-y. There's a really cool Valentine's one in here that would be nice. That's a cute one too. I think it's actually in the start of the book. So we can do this one here, which is a little Valentine's-y, which will work well for Valentine's Day. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it in paint, but I'm hoping I can. I'm just going to take a look and see if there's maybe an easier one, but all of them are. Okay, so who's ready for the palette? All right, so let's grab a palette. So I'm going to just let this go. And close my eyes and see if I can just grab just one. There we I think that's just one. Nope, that's two. There we go. Ooh, that is not a good palette for this, but we will work with it. It's all right. All right, so the palette for that, this is going to be interesting. So I don't know, should we use the palette for the whole page or just use the palette for parts of the page? I'm not quite sure how these palette things work. I've never chosen a palette before, so. Hello, Evelyn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, it's fine. The blues cover the blueberries quite nicely. The purple covers the yeah, the strawberries, however, you know, they might just have to be blue. Yeah, I don't think that palette's going to work for that page. So let's find a page that this palette will work for, because that palette's not going to work for that page. Might work better for this one. What do you guys think? Should we? Yeah, that's true. They are a little yellow before they turn red, but then they turn red. um, Yeah, we can try to work with it. I just think that'd be a lot of blue on the... We'll try to work with it. What do you guys think? Good morning, Della. Good morning, Danny. Sorry if I missed you coming in, dear. The other page. Okay. This one? Because I can do those fruits in the yellows. Now, I will be adding other colors, just saying, because, or, you know, mixing colors to create another series of colors. So I will try to stick to that palette, but I may be adding one or two. All right, so we're going to color this one with this palette. So we've got a sky blue, sea-type blue, sand yellow, a olivey type of green, and a purple. Not a problem at all, Evelyn. Enjoy your diamond painting, dear. All right, so we are going to grab the Flowwoods, which are in here. Let's see. There we go. So here are my Flowwoods, and of course we've got 180 different colors to choose from. So yeah, the purple will work for the grapes and the greens for the leaves and that sort of thing. So I should be able to do this one. And of course, you know, you can use green for the apples and that sort of thing too. So let us put this over here. I've got a piece of paper behind there, and I'm going to move this over here a little bit and switch you over to the close-up camera. And hopefully it's in focus. Is that focused for everybody? I might have to refocus it. Camera. There, that's better. That's better. That is better. All right, so let's start in the center of the page here where pretty much everything is. So we'll work from there. So let's find our purple. Let's pull out our actual chart here just so we can see. Good morning, Christina. And good morning, Kenny. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are using the Flowwood watercolor pencils this week. That is what has been chosen. So I'm just going to grab the Flowwood chart here. Now the numbers of the Flowwood regular colored pencils are the same numbers as the Flowwood watercolor pencils. Same number, same name, you know, same colors, that sort of thing. I don't think they're named, but I'm pretty sure they're numbered. And they're all numbered the same. So, all right. So I've got my chart out. We've got our palette. So this is the palette that we're working with. So we're going to put that up there. And we're going to start off with this apple here. So we're going to grab a sandy yellow kind of color. Oh, look at that. Number 11 and 12 right next to each other are perfect colors. See, number 11 and 12 are almost perfect matches for those two. Almost. Like I said, I've never done a color palette before, so hopefully I don't completely muck it up. Okay, maybe they are not the same. Hold on, hold on. Okay, maybe they're not the same. Because 11 and 12 in here are pink and purple. So that's not going to work so well. So 5 and 6, I think, are the ones we want. I have not done a swatch chart of the watercolors, so I'm going to need to do that. I just assumed that they were the same. So let's see. And then we'll take our watercolor brush. I'm just testing the pencils to make sure that that they are going to work the way we want them to. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. I think that's too limey. That's too much of a lime. So let's go here. And we want this one, I think, which is more of an olive. Yeah. Yep, there we go. Okay. We could always go one more to the depth of it as well. That's a little... Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Sorry guys, just checking out colors here. I'm going to actually put you on the multi-camera so you can actually see what I'm doing over here as well, because I'm checking colors and, you know, I may put things on the No, I do not have the color cube. I'm sorry, did I miss a question? No, I'm using a color palette. No, I'm using a color palette that was created by Radu Fraze and is available on his website free of charge. It's a free download. It is listed below the video here, and it holds 45 pages with 4 color palettes on each page, and you can use it and download it and do whatever you want with it free of charge. No, I don't have Sarah Renee Clark's color cube. I do not. All right, so we've got some of the olivey kind of greens as well as the yellow. So I'm going to base it with the yellow. And this may not be the right kind of apple for this, but oh well. We're going to use the palette we chose. No rechoices. No redos. So that, and I'm going to do this so that you guys can see how this is going to work once a month. Once a month I'm going to choose a palette and we're going to color things with that palette for the picture that we choose on that day. So when we do actually do a color choice, like a page choice, or if I'm doing an artist of the month and that sort of thing, like I do with my colored pencils, we will pull out the prompt as well as the color palette and the choice of pencils as well. All right, now we've got that down. Now I'm going to go in with the lighter green. I'm actually going to sharpen this. Now you don't have to be as precise with making sure that you get all the areas with watercolor pencils. Because when you activate them, it will cover all of those areas. So if you just want to go in to certain areas and put down some color and then activate it, you can, or you can put down like I'm doing and then activate it after you've got everything down in place. And I'm hoping that this green is green enough to overcome the yellow. No, I don't mind the color palettes. I've never used them before because I find them very limiting. And we're going to give this one a try because Radu's my friend and I enjoy his books and that sort of thing, and I want to support him as much as I can. And with having it not cost anything because I'm not on a no buy, that sort of thing, it does make it a lot easier for me to utilize it for him. Like I said, Radu is just a wonderful, wonderful artist, and he's so giving and so caring for the community that I don't mind supporting him whatsoever. All right, so now we've got the green in there. Now we're going to put the darker green in there as well. Hello, Crassus. Good morning. I hope you had a good nap. And then we're going to go in here with the darker green. But most of the time I don't use color palettes. Every once in a while I'll use my color wheel to make sure that I'm putting the right colors together. But usually I just eyeball it. Using the color palette selection thing is more of a challenge to me than something that I need to do. It's just a really cool challenge for me because using only a limited palette is very difficult for me to do. Hello, Pamela. Ah, that's good. Well, I figured you at least woke up. You know, that's always a good thing. You know, you're here. All right. So now I'm going to take my water pen and I'm going to activate and see if I need to add anything. Before I do that though, I'm going to be smart this time and grab my dryer. Now, these pages are quite slick, so I'm hoping that my dryer will not warp the page, because sometimes with these kind of pages that are slicker, they've got a little bit of a coating on them that the heat will melt, which will curl the page a little bit. So I'm hoping that ain't the case, because I really don't want to warp the page. And if it does warp the page, then we'll have to, you know, activate and then wait for it to dry before we can add anything further to it. But first I'm going to plug that in, and then we have our handy dandy dryer. And we've got our watercolor pen. Let's make sure I have water in it. Yes, I do. Okay. Now we're going to work our way down. And pull some of that green in. If you find that your brush is too wet, just dab it off. Yes, I blame Ashley too. So I know you have these pencils, the Flowwood watercolor pencils. I'm pretty sure you do. So if you have the Petra books, you can follow along. And it's a challenge for everybody else as well, because, you know, being challenged to only use a single color palette. And of course, you don't have to follow exactly the color palette that I've chose or where I use it. So, you know, it's always fun just to see what is available for that color palette. So I'm going to dry that. And hopefully it doesn't, oh, it's curling the page. See what I mean by curling the page? See how it lifted? So it is going to curl that page. So I'm going to need some clips. So when your page curls like that, the best thing to do is just to take these paper clips and put them on the corners of the page, so that when you do dry, it doesn't curl that page. I need another one. I thought I had two out, but I guess I don't. My desk is such a mess. Gosh only knows where the other one is. So I'll grab a new one. And basically what this does is it just holds that page in place. Nope. You use the colors that are on the palette. You utilize those colors for your highlights and your shadowing. So there we go. Now hopefully that will keep it flat. So now I'm going to take some of the purple from the palette choices, and I think this one will be pretty close to a match. Let's actually do this one. And we're just going to put a bit of that purple in here. Move it so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Sorry. And a little bit on some of these dots, like so. Wipe off my brush, and then we're just going to activate it a little bit. And I think that was the wrong purple. It really wasn't a purple at all. It was more of a brown kind of purple. I should have tested it, but I didn't. And that may just be because of the green behind it. So sort of like that. Well, Yana, the one thing is with these books is they are very, very pretty. Yeah, this is more of a black purple than anything else. I think it's a little bit too dark. And they do accept many different types of mediums. So put that one aside. I think I want a little bit of a lighter purple here for the grapes. So now, because of the fact that we only have one purple on the card, I'm not going to use the black purple. This one here is a dark purple, but it's not a black purple. This one here is more of a black purple, and I don't like it. So I'm not going to use it. It's not close to what I wanted it to be. But these books are absolutely wonderful. The paper itself is fantastic. They're really simple to color. They're enjoyable to color. In her other book, I colored a rose, and the Caran d'Ache that I used just flowed onto the page. I think it was Caran d'Ache. It may have been something else. I can't remember what I used to color it now. But it went down so smooth and so quick. It was like, oh, wow, I like this. So I'm not, as you can see, I'm not covering the whole grape. So I'm going to use the water to give us our light and our dark shadowing. So I'm going to make sure that the color is thick in our shadow areas, and we're going to use that color and the water distribution to bring that out and give us our highlight areas. So even when you have a palette choice like this, you don't have to utilize more than one color. And I broke my pencil. I don't like it when they break. Sometimes they get a little fussy and won't sharpen with the sharpener. So then you gotta fiddle with them and find the sharpener that does work for them. But I want this to have a fairly good point. So I use my hand crank sharpener. Now, if I was using Inktense or something else like that, I would be using a specific sharpener so that I could empty it out. And well, this one here seems to be broken, and I'm not liking that. Now, because these are watercolor pencils, you cannot repair the cores the same way you would regular pencils. So if you end up with breaking cores like that, you're just going to end up with a short pencil. But as I was saying, if I just put this down in the darkest of areas and then drag it into our light areas, that will give us our light and dark shadows and highlights. So I'm just coming out just slightly from our dark area so that I can have enough color to drag out. And of course, there's several different things that you can utilize. Like for example, if clipping it down like this doesn't work for using the water on it, I will switch to a alcohol marker. There's several different things that you can use to activate your watercolor pencils. Yes, you can definitely put the broken pieces in a pan and use it as a watercolor. I don't remember what I just did with that last one. I should have actually done that. Thank you, Evelyn. I completely forgot to do that. Oh dear, I feel a sneeze coming on. I hope it doesn't, I hope it goes away. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully I don't get another one, because usually they come in threes. So, hello Tammy, good day darling. What are you doing up so early, dear? I am so sorry I missed your stream last week. I had to adult. It was not fun. It does. It does. It is. I love the Caran d'Ache watercolor palette. Sorry guys, I'm scrolling back now. The book that we're using, sorry Crashes, is the Petra book. Okay, let's make sure I didn't miss anything else. Yes, adulting does suck. Absolutely. Especially when it involves large sums of money. All right. So I'm going to put in the shadow underneath this one here. So I'm just going to get all of the color on, the color pencil on, and then we'll add the water. And like I said, you don't have to use water. So if you're using your watercolor pencils in a regular coloring book, you may not want to use a water brush. You may find that working with either a water-based marker blender, such as the Tombow, such as this one, the Tombow ABT, which is just the clear blender, or a blender alcohol marker, may work better for you in a regular coloring book. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Alex. Sometimes my head goes down and it just doesn't come back up. All right. So I saw you have a giveaway on your channel, Tammy. I will have to go back and look because I have not had a chance to watch the whole video. Because I've been adulting and I don't like it. I'm not adulting today, so today I am just not adulting, so I refuse. I refuse to adult. And I'm going down too far here, so I'm gonna only do to this one here, and then I'm gonna actually tip you a bit because there we go, so that you can see all the grapes. Yep, yeah. The Tombow does seem to work really, really well, especially with watercolor pencils and ink tints and that sort of thing. Another one that I like to use is the Finesse or the Koi. The Koi works really nice as well. And Larissa, I think it's Larissa's Coloring World or something. She actually showed me to use the Koi one. And it's really inexpensive and you get a 2-pack. And it has a really good brush as well as a bullet nib. So. Okay, so some of these aren't going to have enough color on them just with the little areas that they're showing. But what we'll do is we'll extend it out and see how far it goes and see if we need to add any more. Because sometimes we just need to add more. And also, you know, sometimes when you're moving from one area to the other, picking up more of that color, the darker it gets, the further down you go. Okay. So we've got a little bit of purple on all of those. I'm going to wipe off my pen. Make sure it's clean. Now we're just going to move this purple around. Like so. Hello, Ronnie. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yeah. All right. So as you can see, it's darker in the shadowy areas, and we're able to pull that darkness right through and filling in that area. Now, once we dry this, we can go over those darker areas with more color and deepen it up. So it's just the same as layering with pencil. It's just with these you can deepen that color just by letting it dry or drying it and then going over it again with the pencil and bringing more of that color out. So instead of having to use your light, medium, and dark, just like with colored pencils, you don't need to have 3 different colored pencils. You can do a light, medium, and dark just with one pencil with the pressure of your hand. With this, it's just a layering effect of putting a layer down, wetting it down, letting it dry, putting in the next layer down, and building that color up. Yes, For Inktense, it does make the colors just pop right out. Absolutely. So I'm just using regular water. I do find that these books are curling a little bit with the heat, but that's okay. I've pinned them down so they shouldn't curl too much now. But I am finding that the flow woods just dissolve with this water. It's like just instantaneously. They're really, really, really good with how quickly they just activate and dissolve. And Bob's walking around, putting his coffee cup away. All right. So I'm going to go over these again with the same pencil after I dry it. Hello, Tiffany. Welcome. All right. So now we're going to dry this. And then we're going to take the same pencil and we're going to do the whole thing over again. So we're going to go back into our dark areas. We're going to add more of that dark purple. And work on our shadows now. Now we've got the color based on the page. Now we're going to work into our shadows. And our medium tones. Not a problem at all, Ev. Lurk away, dear. You're fine. I'm so glad you're here. I've missed you. All right. That's always the way. That is always the way, dear, and that's perfectly fine. You know, life is always first. You know that. I just wanted to make sure that you were all right and let you know that I missed you. All right. Okay. Sorry if I go quiet. hard to talk and concentrate at the same time. So just to let you know, for anybody that was a previous member to the channel that hasn't seen the membership posts that I've made, memberships are no longer available on the channel, and I do encourage, if you do want to support the channel, to please do so through either Patreon or through PayPal instead of through YouTube. For financial reasons, and the fact that your contribution is here to support the channel, not to support the platform, and the platform is deciding that you need to support them first. So, without getting into all the horrible, gory details of it, that's pretty much what I've decided. I feel that they're doing. All right. Hello, Mona. Mona. It's all Brian's fault. I'm sorry. Can't hear it now without Brian's hit. Of course, this isn't mandatory, and that sort of thing. You guys just being here is more than enough encouragement and support for me. But sometimes there's a little bit of financial cost that the channel creates. So basically all your donations and Patreon memberships and that sort of thing goes towards the giveaways and that sort of thing for the channel. Alright, so I think we've got our shadow areas re-established. Just going to make sure I get more than enough darkness around this apple. Because I want of course, the apple is in front of the grapes there. That's good. As long as I'm not the only one where Brian lives in their head, yeah. Brian's gonna think we're all weird. I'm going to wipe that off, and then I'm going to come down and feather that light area back in, like so. That is true. That is true. So it's the palette that I'm using is in the description below the video. It's done by Radu Fraze. Let's see if I can. I put the page somewhere. Hold on. There it is. So there is his name. And I'm using the Flowwood watercolor pencils. So now I'm just being a little bit more careful of where that color is going, because I don't want it to go too far into our light area. So I'm just using clean water, cleaning the tip of the brush off, and just moving it back to where I want that shadow to be. Oh, this palette is the Tim Holtz Tonic Studios. That's the palette here. There's also a, I also use the Caran d'Ache palette. If I use a plastic palette, I use the Caran d'Ache palette. There's also a silicone palette that I just got for Christmas. That is wonderful. And it's fun to use as well. It's a matte with a palette on it. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. So yeah, I use the palette here, right here, is the palette off of the Tonic Studios Tim Holtz glass palette. Glass palette matte. And the matte covers half of my desk, but it has a actual palette area on it so that you can mix colors and whatnot. Try to make sure I get that dark shadow in there. So this is where all the fussy bit becomes, starts working its way in, because now you're making sure that you don't get too far with your dark. And if you do get too far, that you take a little bit of fresh water and move it backwards a bit. But you still need to activate. Now these are watercolor pencils, so even if you go over it, like for example, if I go over it with a different color, it will move things around. I chose the left-handed one because A, it was cheaper, and that's the side, because the left-handed one has the palette on the right-hand side, which to me is silly. If your dominant hand is left, I would maybe suggest looking at the right-hand palette, because this is the left-handed one, and the palette is like where I would pick up paint and that sort of stuff is on the right-hand side. The cut mat is on the left, and don't cut things on it by all means. I have scratched mine by cutting something on it. Just letting you know. It is not cut resistant. But you can definitely put really cool effects in your inks if you use it. Awesome! Yeah, isn't that weird? But I think it's because the measurements in the craft area are on the left-hand side on this palette. I don't do that kind of crafting, so it wasn't a big deal to me to have the craft section on my dominant side. It was more of a big deal to have the palette on the dominant side for when I do paint. once a year. Hello, Angie. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yep, yep. You went out during sports ball time. I'm sorry. I'm here for you, dear. I'm here for you. Just saying. All right. These ones underneath I want dark all the way across. Alright, so I'm going to dry this top part, and it's starting to look a little damp to me, like too damp. Hello, Yuna. Sorry, I did not mute that. I apologize if that upset anyone, because it was a little loud. Alright. So I did go through in between the grapes there in the darker areas and added that purple to that as well, so that when I go over it, it'll keep that area in that shadow color instead of just the black. Because sometimes when you go over black with water, or if you're using an alcohol marker or anything like that to activate your coloring, sometimes if you go over black with those, it picks up the black a little bit and grays it out a little bit. So this one here, I'm just going to pull out most of the way. Same with this one. Just going to leave that edge open. We're just going to soften that a little bit there. Soften this a little bit here. Soften that. All right. Okay, so there we go. We've got the grapes and the apple done. Now we're going to rinse off our brush here so that we don't have purple built up on it. And we're going to take, let's see, let's do our blues. I know that these berries here are supposed to be red, but I'm going to do them blue. Just saying. And we may end up adding some blue into the other grapes as well. Thank you. So let's grab our blues. So we need a light blue and a medium blue. So we're going to grab like this one here for our light and this one here for our medium dark color. With this set, there are so many different mediums, lights, and darks, so I actually have a really good selection those to work with. So I don't have to worry about being, exact. I don't have to be exact, I hope. Like I said, I have never done a palette thing. When I first started coloring, I tried doing them and I found that they were very, very limiting. So I chose not to do them anymore because I don't like being limited. Because yeah, I'm a big baby, that's why. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just a big baby, so. Alright, so I'm gonna put down the light color here. Now, of course, I can do this with pressure and the same way that I did the grapes. But I'm going to show you this the same way that I did the apple with the layering. Because you do get a different dimension, a different color dimension from two different shades of the same color instead of using the same color with different levels of layering. So again, I'm just going to put down a whole area of the light. And I know these are supposed to be red, so please don't yell at me. I know what color they're supposed to be, but we're doing them blue. Just saying, as long as y'all know. I haven't lost my mind. I do know what color these berries are. They're currants, I do believe, type berries. They're not as clustered as you would find for, say, blueberries. So I'm pretty sure they're currants by the way they're hanging. Which would be an orangey red color. Now I'm not overly concerned about making sure that everything is all in its place because like I said before, we're going to be going over it with water which will move it all in its place. Just try not to go out of the lines like I end up doing half the time. The great thing about this is these do erase before you activate them. And if you do activate them, you can add a little bit more water and lessen the impact of it being outside of the lines. Exactly. There's absolutely no right way or wrong way. I understand that. Just saying, I do know what these are. So if you are watching this, the wonderful artist of this book, I am not butchering your book, I promise. Just following a color palette. I always worry about that. That's one of my worst nightmares, is to have one of the artists come to the channel while I'm coloring their work and tell me that it's absolutely horrible. It is my worst nightmare. Literally, I have had that nightmare. Well, I don't know about that, but but I have had that nightmare. I have had that nightmare of Somebody coming into the chat that I'm coloring in their book saying, what are you doing? Because that looks terrible. Yes, that's true. You would. You would definitely laugh your butt off. I'm a little bit of a sensitive nugget with that sort of thing. I just want to do it justice. I just want to do it justice. I'm sorry. Thank you. But yeah, it's funny. It's like what a horrible thing to have a nightmare about though. I know that none of the artists that I do color would ever do that. I don't think any artist would ever do that, but it's still a horrible, horrible nightmare. Oh, crud. Um, oh, sorry, my hand just cramped. I was holding the pencils, the activation brush, and if I hold my hand a certain way too long, my arthritis kicks in and it just binds it. It just cramps it right up into a little ball. And it's been doing it a little bit more since I was trying to do the quilling. We will finish that quilling instructions from my quilling instructor next week. But she wasn't feeling well and my hand just bound right up. And she said, yeah, we're just going to give it a break for this week because, yeah, I don't want your arthritis to kill you. Because Celine's sweet that way. I I wouldn't I bet you they would be nice after that. Just saying. You may not have a job after that, but I bet you the kids would be really nice after that. But you also don't live in the US, so you know, you might get away with it a little bit more than we would out here. I bet you Alex has had that dream too. Your channel would not get taken down. Mad. I don't want to see Tammy mad. Yeah. Although, I think it'd be, you know, I think Tammy'd be funny when she's mad. I'd be scared to be around, but, you know, from a distance, I'd feel sorry for the poor soul that she was very angry at. And just be glad it wasn't me. Dreams are fun, yeah. You totally wouldn't get away with it? Are you sure? Even if you said, you know, it's just a costume, you know, just wanted to let them know who was the boss and who was the Hulk. Oh no! Yes, exactly. It would be worthy of popcorn. Absolutely. As long as you're not mad at me and I get to watch, that might be worthy of popcorn. And don't worry, I will hold onto the glass and you know the soda will be on the sidelines as well as the tissue because if you're anything like me, the madder you get, the more you want to cry. If I get really, really mad, I just cry. I have to. It hurts me to get mad. It's weird. I'm weird. I'm sorry. You guys didn't need to know that, but now you do. Now you can never unknow it. But yeah, if I get really, really mad, it actually physically hurts me and I have to cry. Oh, nice. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, it does not sound like a fun Friday. Yeah, like it physically hurts, you know. All right, so I'm taking the water brush and I'm activating the blues. Starting with the lightest blue going into the dark blue. Wiping off my pen. Try to make sure I maintain it in a point. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad I'm not the only one though, because I always thought I was weird. Aw, you're wonderful. There you go. I'm glad I make you happy. You deserve happy. All right. Again, I'm just activating that light color, moving it down into the dark color, clearing up any harsh edges, just like I did with the apple. And the grapes. So I'm starting in the light color, moving it into the dark color, and just extending it out just a little bit to be the medium tone. And cleaning up what I don't want. This one in the background here, I'm going to do mostly dark. This one in the front is going to have mostly light. Yeah, the paper itself can handle the water just fine. I do find that with the Petra books, it does not like the heat dryer. So it doesn't like to be blow dried. It's handling the water great. It's not handling the drying process very well. I understand that one, Yana. Understand that one. I used to be like that too. But I would cry while I was doing it. Now, if this was Inktense, I would do it the same way I did with the grapes. I would have activated the bottom layer and then built that layer on top. You can also do it this way. With Inktense, it's really easy to build layers and continue to build layers without activating the color underneath because they are permanent once they dry, which is cool. Get that all active. Just clean up any edges that I've got going on here. That a little bit lighter, so I'm just taking the brush and picking up areas that I want it to be a little bit lighter. Like so. And there we have our blueberries. Now for these, they're typically an orange color. So I'm thinking that if I take the purple and the yellow, it'll give me a bit of an orange color. So I'm going to test that on some paper here. And hopefully it will do what I want it to do. Maybe is what I'm hoping. So I've got some extra paper here. So I'm going to put the purple down. So I'm just going to test this out and make sure that it'll do what I want it to do before I ruin something. Because if this doesn't work, I'll just do them yellow with the green. Yeah, it just looks a little yucky, doesn't it? I don't think that's going to work. Let's see. See if we add more yellow. Oh, let's just throw that on the floor. Yeah, it's not blending it. That's fine. That's fine. We won't do that. So we will do it with a yellow and maybe a bit of a purple on the edges, make them not quite ripe. Uh-huh. Awesome. Yes, you get some pretty bookmarks. Exactly. Yeah, people don't seem to understand the fact that no, I'm not upset. I'm mad. And when I'm that mad, it just makes me seem to be more upset than anything else. So I'm going to go in with the yellow on this fruit here. And I know it's typically orange, but we're going to actually color it in the greens and the yellows, kind of like the apple. But we're going to add a bit of a purple. Just try, maybe blue. I'll add some blue to it and see how that works out with the purple maybe. I'm just trying to decide the best way to do this. Just in the shadow areas, just to give it that deeper shadow. I'm going to add the purple. And I'm going to press a little bit harder on the purple through here. And see if we can drag some of that red tone out. Alright, now we're going to grab our brush. Nice! So we're going to grab our brush here and we're going to activate this yellow. And we're going to pull it towards the purple. And of course, I've got too much water on there. And then we're going to dry it, and then we're going to add more yellow. I don't think I dried the blueberries either. Or the blue, yeah, well, they're not blueberries, but the blue colored berries. Alright, now we're going to add more yellow. This area here. And we're going to wipe our brush. Pull it together. Like so. I think that looks pretty good. Gives you the contrast as well as the highlight of it. I think we want to take a little bit of that purple and go back in with it a little bit there. So I'm just going to take it straight off. This is not the one that I want. Where's the one I want? Did I drop my purple on the floor? Where did the purple go? That's why it's too dark, because I'm using the wrong purple. It's like, that's not the right purple. That's the black kind of purple that I didn't want to use. So I'm going to use this, the proper purple, which will give us a little bit of red, I think. So I'm just going to take it straight off of the pencil here. That's better. See, that's what I was hoping for. That's what happens when you grab the wrong pencil. So this, if you want the numbers of the pencils, I will use them, but I haven't been, I'm sorry. Just saying, I'm sorry. I keep on forgetting. But I will leave a list of the colors of pencils that I've got out here that I've been using. And I'm going to take the black purple away because I don't want that one out. So basically I've got 5 pencils here. Well, 6, because I'm using 2 of the practically the same color, just one's a little bit lighter, to make up this color here, the green color. All right, so let's do our leaf area here. So we're going to do this with the yellow green. We'll put in some of the green. Now this and the yellow are very, very close in color. This is just a little tiny bit more green. It's not quite a lime green, but it gives you that green tint that we want on this area. The artist is Petra, and I can't pronounce her last name. No, this book is not on Amazon. You have to order it through her website. Alex, I'm not sure if you have it or Ashley. Ashley's not home, so I don't think Ashley can post it. But Alex, if you have the website, can you please post that for Pamela? That'd be appreciative. Yes, the artist for the book, Petra. No, for she said this book, so it's the Petra book. The Radu phrase color palette book is free and is listed below the video, where you can download that free download. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. So now I've put in some of that yellow green. Now I'm going to put in the green, which is going to give us these two colors mixed together, give us this green color that we want for the shadow areas of the leaves here. My goodness, it's already been an hour and a half. And then we'll be adding the yellow to the leaves as well. Maybe even a bit of purple. Now that I've got the right purple there. Awesome. Did you get the figure out where the book was, or did you, just the Radu color palette book? All right. So I'm just going to go in the shadow areas here, as well as down here with that green tone. Again, just mixing those colors together to create the same color of the color palette green. It's an olivey, yellowy kind of green. Sometimes you can't just pick up a pencil and have that color. Sometimes you have to mix it up to make it. Thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate that. Yeah, if I knew it was her books that were going to be chosen, I would have posted her website. But I didn't know until I knew what pencils we were going to use. because if it was Inktense, it was going to be serene. Hello, Stacy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, no, these books are absolutely wonderful, so. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that. I really do. I've missed you and glad to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. All right, so now I'm going to add some yellow, and I'm just going to do this very, very lightly on the highlighty set areas. So the areas that I want the brightest, I'm going to use that yellow. I think you should, Alex. With the way that you enjoy coloring floral things, I think these books were made for you. Just saying. All right, now we're going to take a little bit of that purple, and we're just going to put a little bit of it down the center areas here, where those veins are running through the center of the leaves. Again, going to rinse off my brush, make sure I don't have any of the color from the previous area. You are. You know, you are one of the many people that I have seen coloring flowers, and you do such a great job with them. And I seriously think that these books are just right up your alley. So just moving in a downward motion, moving that color down as I go, and lifting off as I get into the yellow to make sure that it doesn't get too washed out. Wiping my pen as I get to the yellow if I feel it has too much green on it, like these areas here that are really heavy in green and purple. I'm going to avoid that yellow, activate the green, wipe my brush, and then go into the yellow. Like that. Same with this area here. Not too concerned about the underside of the leaf being too dark. I just want the yellow there to shine through a little bit, but it's not a big deal. So going from the light to the dark works really well. Going up around the edge because we want that edge to be shadowed. Mixing in that purple. Dabbing off our pen. And then moving into the yellow, like so. And then we have the next fruit all colored in. So we've covered all 4 of the fruits so far. Let's work on some of these leaves. So we're going to use the 2 greens and a blue for the leaves. Awesome. So our typical, like this color palette right here is these colors right here, which is a purple, 2 blues, a yellow, and a green. The green, I find, is a mixture of these 2 greens here. So I'm using 102, 92, 22, 6, 72, and 80. Those are the colors I'm using for this page. Ooh, ambrosia salad, yum. Yep. Oh, that'd be awesome. I can't wait to see your sunflowers. Yeah, they are absolutely gorgeous books. I know you lurk a lot, but I still miss you. I don't get to see you anymore. All right, so we're going to start with the dark blue. So number 80 in our shadow areas here. And I know it's blue, but it will darken that green a little bit because we're going to be going over this with the green. And if we want to, we can go over this with just the yellow as well. You know, it does have a good palette to work with for mixing colors as well. So the only thing it's missing is red. But we got purple. All right, so now we're going to go in with the green. So we're going to start with number 92, and we're going to base color right over top of the blue. All right, like so. Now we're going to activate it and mix that blue and that green together. And then we're going to dry it, and then we're going to move on to the other color. So basically all we're doing right now is we're just mixing those colors together on the page. You can do this on a palette, absolutely. Like so. And we're going to dry this. Oh, my husband brought me prezzies. I don't know why my husband's bringing me prezzies. My husband brought me prezzies, guys. So now that that's dry, I'm going to add the darker of the color. Don't know what I did to deserve prezzies this morning, but it's a pretty blue bag. Yeah. Well, my hubby likes to buy me prezzies and just surprise me with them occasionally. More often than not. Okay, so now we're going to add some yellow to that. And I know it's still a bit wet, but that's okay. Because I'm just going to spread it into the water with the pencil. Putting in those yellowy highlights for the leaf. And there we have the leaf. Now, if you do that, make sure that you wipe. Same with if you take from the tip of your pencil with your water brush. Make sure that you wipe off your pencil so that the water brush does not degrade your pencil and make it crumble, because that's what it will do. All right, so who wants to see how it looks so far on the main screen and see what my husband brought me, because I don't know what it is. And I want to look. All right, so there we are so far. So there's our grapes, our little blueberries, the way that I will do the round things. I can't remember, a clematis or whatever, clements, or I'm not sure what they're called, but they're pretty and they're usually orange, but I don't have orange, so I will be coloring them this color. But yes, these the whole thing is usually a really bright, nice orange. So uh, the apples, the leaves, and all that sort of thing is going to be this way. I pretty much touched everything that we're going to do on this page. So I don't know. Let me see. So it's from the Irish Hawk Trading Company. Should I look? See. All right. The Irish Hawk Trading Company. And it's all birdied. It's wrapped in something. Okay, so we've got it out of the bag. There's several. So let's see. Let's do one at a time here. Aww. Okay, I've got to move. I've got to move the book. Oh, those are so cute. I know what he did. I know what he did. Oh, my husband is cute. I don't know if you guys can see. So as many of you know, I have a thing for fairies and unicorns. And we've got a plant, a autumn fairy, he's so cute. My husband's so sweet. And another plant. He bought me pretty plants. And I do believe these are clay or molded plastic. They're made in Vietnam. I'm gonna have to heat those so that they come off. Hold on. Great thing about heat guns, you can get the labels off of anything with them. You just have to be patient. Trying not to burn my fingers in the process though. Or melt the plastic of the plant. Oh, these are really on there. I'll have to soak these ones a bit, I think. Because even the heat gun's not peeling it all the way off. But yes, I got cute. Yes, I've got loads of alone too. So I have a wonderful little fairy that will hang right here. She can hang here and talk to you guys all day. Would that not be horribly distracting while I'm coloring? But we have a wonderful little fairy will hang somewhere. And she works there. And some wonderful little plants. I think he wants me to do a fairy garden. My hubby is the best. He printed me a dinosaur. He printed me a little T-Rex to go rah 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 rah. He's so cute. Rah 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 rah. Oh, yeah. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. I'll use some Goo Be Gone or something. So we have about 10 minutes left. What do you guys think? Do you think I can get this apple done in 10 minutes? Let's switch back over to the close-up. So we've got about 10 minutes. Let's get this apple done. I don't want to waste the time. Get as much done as we can. I know we'll be doing it again tomorrow, but you know, if we can get most of it done today, then we can switch to a new book on Wednesday or a new page on Wednesday and maybe use a different activation technique. And then we won't have to use the same palette. Maybe we'll choose a new palette on Wednesday to do that coloring with. 1 week a month of palettes. There we go. All right, so I just base colored that in the yellow. Now we're going to take our two orange or two greens. And we're going to start with our lightest green first. And we're going to build that green color just like it is on the palette. Because I tried the olive green that I found in this set and it wasn't very close. It had a little bit too much brown in it. So my husband went out for lunch and got me fairies and potted plants. Plastic potted plants. He's just so cute. See, my husband doesn't only ever buy me coloring supplies, just so you all know. He does buy me other things. Sometimes just randomly out of the blue. So I'm just going through. Going to extend that green up here a little bit further. And down here. He is very sweet. Now we have number 102, which is the darker of the green, and we're just going to blend that into that yellow. It's kind of a chartreuse green. Not a lime, but it's got a little bit more olive in it than a lime. But it's really close to chartreuse green. And then once you add this, it gives you that yellow olive color that we wanted. And I'm just going to press a little bit harder on the line here, just to make sure that that gets the darkest of those mixtures there. Because the artist has lovingly put in the shadow area for us. It would be rude not to use it. Right? All right, there we go. Now we're going to well, these are hanging, so I don't know. There's an orange one, and I don't know if they're called ground cherries or not, but I could go in the back of the book and look it up, but it's in a different language, so it wouldn't give me any sort of help. So, all right, so just put down a little bit more of the yellow. Okay. And then we're going to take our brush. We're going to make sure it doesn't have any purple or blue or green on it. And then we're going to start in the yellow. We're going to work down into the green. Working that green out a little bit. Wiping off any excess, then bringing that yellow in, like so. And bring that down through here. Try not to get the purple on there. And make sure you have plenty of water. Sometimes too much water is a bad thing. Sometimes not enough water is a really bad thing. The other thing that you have to remember with watercolor pencils and ink tints and that sort of thing is that the pigment of these pencils are made with a water-soluble pigment. And if you don't activate the whole thing, the next thing that you add, especially if you're layering with ink tints, the next layer that you add is going to pick up that activation of the granules that you haven't activated, and it will mix into your color. So if you have finished an area and you want to add another color, make sure that you activate all of the color first so that you don't pick up another color. So I'm just flattening it with my hand as I heat it up. Alright, so it's dry now, so we're going to add a little bit more of the green. Absolutely, Carol. Thank you so much for coming in. Have a wonderful day. We will be leaving here soon, but thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate you. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of that dark green. And we're going to go through and we're just going to touch on these spots here. Just going to get a little bit darker in the shadowy areas and on these edges here a little bit. So Nightbot is encouraging everybody to join us over on Discord. Discord is kind of like Facebook where you can post your pictures and that sort of thing. We also have a chat room that you are absolutely encouraged to join in and say hello. There's usually somebody in there after stream. I will probably be in there after stream until Tammy starts. Tammy starts about an hour after I'm done. So of course, if you type in !Amazon Tammy, make sure that you go over there and show her all the love because she is fantastic. She's like magical. She just knows exactly what she's doing even when she says she doesn't. So don't let her sit there going, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, yeah, she does. She is an artist in any sense, in every sense of the word. So make sure that you head on over there and give her some love. All right, so I'm going to take some of that purple and we're going to do the stem. So, and then we're going to dry it out. And if I don't dry it, I'll forget and then I'll close the book. You're a brat. I'm just saying. All right. I'm going to switch you over to the main camera here so you can see all that we have accomplished today. So we have accomplished these 3 different fruits, 4 different fruits, and an apple, as well as a leaf. And we will continue with this tomorrow during our Monday Night Live. I will go through and swatch these pencils and activate them and record it, and we will talk about them tomorrow. Because they are a medium that I typically would swatch and know a little bit about, I will definitely be doing my Monday view tomorrow as well. These are the Flowwood colored pencils. We're working on a palette with a palette. This is the palette for this page. So we've got 2 different blues, a yellow, olive green, and a purple. And those are the colors that we are working with here today. And once this page is done, we may choose a new palette, depending upon if we get this done by Wednesday. Thank you so much, Bea. I appreciate that. And of course, make sure that you check out Bee's channel as well. She has been coloring some gorgeous, absolutely adorable little mice. Make sure you head on over and say hello to her as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys. With that, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. If you want to support the channel the same way that you were with memberships, you can definitely do so by going over to Patreon and subscribing to the Patreon membership. All of the memberships that are there are the same memberships that we had here in YouTube. It's just without the badges. All right, guys. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now. Of course, all the links for Radu as well as the Faebruary are below the video. I will try to go through and fix all of Faebruary. If they disappear, you know I wasn't able to. All right, guys. Until next time, have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye for now.